Ken Griffey Jr. is Luke Skywalker, and here's why. There is no yellow brick road to success in the Emerald City, Seattle that is. No obvious starting point, and no clear end. That is, unless you're Ken Griffey Jr. Everyone knows you become a bona fide badass when you're identified by just one name. Ken Griffey Jr. didn't need all 5 syllables, he needed just 2. Junior. If you could write the perfect storyline for a future star, that would probably be his. Ken Griffey Jr. didn't do conventional. Conventionally speaking, Seattle's not good at baseball. Conventionally speaking, teenagers don't reach the majors. Conventionally speaking, a father and son don't play on the same professional baseball team simultaneously. In the summer of '89, the city of Seattle was about to learn just how cool doing the unconventional could be. That season, Junior made his debut as one of the most hyped-up baseball prospects in history. He would show signs of his promise throughout the first season, but nothing would compare to the transformation that would take place in the coming 10. But before that, Griffey encountered some roadblocks on his hero's journey. It seemed like everyone was yelling at me in baseball. Then I came home and everyone was yelling at me there. I got depressed. I got angry. I didn't want to live. It was 277 aspirin pills by his own count, more than enough to kill a man. The pressure put on a then 17-year-old Ken Griffey Jr., who had just signed with the Mariners, almost prevented the person many dubbed the Kid from becoming the Man. Junior had a way of making things look easy, but that was really an illusion. With the spotlight on you and the weight of the world on your shoulders, nothing comes easy. When the Seattle Mariners signed Ken Griffey Sr. in 1990, who we'll call Senior for simplicity purposes, he was already 40 years old, in the twilight of his career, and had his best playing days behind him. Beyond the novelty of creating the first father-son outfield in league history, the Mariners' move was also possibly aimed at steadying their young, vulnerable phenomenon. Throughout the 1990 MLB season, Junior and his father became the first father-son duo to hit back-to-back home runs.
And he hits one well to left center field. Dante Bichette. Back-to-back home runs.
Start in the same outfield.
And it's Ken Griffey Jr. taking the play away from his father.
And do it all with a losing record. The Ken Griffey Sr. experiment ended at the beginning of the '91 season. It cannot be labeled a failure. It never had expectations. The tension was palpable. Griffey had hit a home run in each of the previous 7 games. One more, and he would have tied the Major League record for consecutive games with a home run. On a high drive to right field, he did just that. The pitch was high and away, but Griffey didn't care.
To right field, this ball is gone!
He produced a swing and a silhouette that can only be described as baseball perfection. The streak ended days later. In '93, Griffey finished with an epic 45 homers, a sign of things to come. Roger Maris was preternatural. In 1962, a seemingly random Roger Maris, who previously had hit no more than 40 homers in a season, would do something that neither he nor anyone else thought Roger Maris would do. He smacked a record-setting 61 home runs, dismantling Babe Ruth's record of 60. Maris would go on to hold the record for decades. That was until '98, when an electric home run race was brewing. It's not often you see an opposing team high-five the player who hit a home run against them. Well, that's what happened here, and this is Mark McGwire. That was Mark McGwire's 62nd home run, beating Maris's previous record. He and Sammy Sosa would battle all year for the home run crown. When the dust settled, McGwire found himself on top with a whopping 70 long balls. McGwire and Sosa's home run race that year made them international celebrities and elevated the game of baseball back into its long-forgotten height of popularity. As for Maris, he and his records were forgotten, relegated to a minor footnote on the long timeline of baseball history. The thing is, McGwire and Sosa were cheaters. McGwire had admitted to using steroids, and Sosa has been credibly accused of taking PEDs throughout his playing career and long after. The demigods of baseball were shams. The race of '98 was a lie. For the most part. A third slugger was competing for the home run crown that year, forgotten and unnoted, Ken Griffey Jr. In arguably his best season, Griffey found himself overshadowed by two elephant-sized cheaters. Griffey, for the most part, was in the thick of the race, and around the All-Star break, was tied for the league lead in home runs. The fact that Jr. was able to stay in the race, in my opinion, is the greatest achievement of his career. Much like Maris, Griffey's achievement was erased from history and pushed to the side, forgotten.